Hello, your name is?
Hi guys, I'm Matt, also known as Gax. I have a couple different names online, but that's one of the most prominent ones.
Alright. Hello, Matt. Welcome to the interview segment of wherever this might be in FunCon. Just give us like a quick synopsis about like what you do.
I'm a spriter. I make sprites for all the little lovely kitties to enjoy. I work in Flash, and I also work in Sprite, so I make pixel art sprites as well.
But yeah, there's got about 10 questions here that I could ask you for this interview. When did you find out about FNF?
I found out about it really in its first few months of existing. I initially found it through TikTok, and then because everyone was like, "Oh, check out this cool little rhythm game online. Check out this new free rhythm game," and I was like, "Okay, I'll check it out." And then that's when I played the Newgrounds build, and I was like, "Oh, this is cool." But that's how I found out about it. This was I think this was around week 3 released, week 2 or week 3 released. That's when I found it.
Right, yeah. I remember just being told about it because someone just sent me gameplay of one of the songs. I didn't actually touch the game itself until like maybe about week 6. I don't know. When did you join the modding community?
It's a good question. I think it was around the time that I got my new PC, which had to be summer, I think, of 22 or 21. It had to be around that time. Because before I was working on a dinky little Chromebook and didn't have much to work with. But once I got this computer, then I got a Sprite. I started making pixel sprites for different mods.
I don't remember when I spawned in here. I don't remember much of anything because I have brain damage. What was the first mod you worked on, if you remember?
Oh, geez, that's a good question. Honestly, I don't really remember. I think first one I had to be. I actually didn't really work on a mod for like a while. I'd say the first big mod that I worked on was Hotline, actually.
Really?
Yeah. I could check on my media tab real quick to see what I posted at the time, because it didn't really do much.
Hotlines.
I think I was working on some little indie mod that I was making. But yeah, Hotline was the first big one that I worked on.
Fucking Hotline's a mod name I haven't heard of in fucking ages.
Yeah, that mod. It was fun. It was fun to work on it.
What mods do you currently have a part in?
So I work on a few. I work on. Let me look through my list. I worked on Cloud9, Octafunk, Alpha Build. This is a smaller mod. Metal Mania Madness. That's a mod that I made. That's pretty much it.
What what exactly drives you to create and whatnot?
Honestly, I initially didn't for I want to be big on the internet. I want to do all this crazy stuff, but I just don't post a lot. I just do it for fun. It's good. It really dumb way to put this, but it allows you to build skills working with other people, having to manage working on different things all at the same time.
Right. Are there any people in this community that inspire you at all?
Yeah, there's a few. Jozin Rays, he was one of my first big inspirations when I started making sprites, just because his quality was really good, even from his first stuff that he was making. I'd say Mulling's really good pixel spriter that I have on it. I've been talking to them for a while, so they given me feedback on a lot of my work. There's another one. His name is IGGH. He's also another really good pixel spriter, really good animator. I talked to him for a while when I first started out, and we have both been growing as spriters for the longest time. So I'd say those are my 3 little inspirations.
Is there anything in particular that you're excited to see in the base game?
More animation, cutscene stuff, because a lot of stuff that I see that modders don't do, that they just barely started doing, is adding animations to characters mid-song. And best example that I can do is like the $17 teaser that they did, that Sinister Bart just recently posted. That one, very good, because it shows off like 3 different animations that characters can do. And for the longest time, people didn't do this. And another one is like things happening before and after the song like starts and like ends. Like Graffiti Groovin had like cutscenes before like the song started. But those are a lot of things, because a lot of it is just like, oh, make a song, chart it, make sprites. That's it. When people can be doing so much more for their mods, and it's not that they're not doing it. It's like, it's not that they're like they don't know how to do it. It's just that they're not really acting on it. Like, I've already seen like a couple of mods that I've been working on, people starting to do that, which is good, because when one guy does it who's popular, everyone starts doing it. And this isn't some like bandwagon thing. This is generally just like good, because people need to do this more often.
Right, yeah. I understand that. What is your favorite thing that you've created?
Favorite thing, it had to be Alpha Build, the one that I'm currently making, because I've put so much effort into this mod already. All right, I've paid $40 for already on this mod. All right, I'm in too deep. I can't really back out now. But still, working on this has been so much fun, because I've gotten to talk to so many people. I've been able to like direct the mod that I would assume is like in good faith to the base devs like wishes.
Right, yeah.
And also because it's just been so much fun being able to create new characters inside of this like very, very small IP that has not been acted on at all. So I've been able to kind of start making things that I think would look good for it. And it's allowed me to like research different like topics that like pertain to the mod, like dating sims. I had to watch like a 5-hour like playthrough of a dating sim that the game is based off of. I had to read through the wiki so many times to see like what I can gather from the different devs and what they used. And it's been a really, really fun experience, because it's allowed me to like do stuff that I hopefully can do with other projects in the future.
Right,
because this has been so much fun, and I didn't even realize it, but one of the devs on the team, they were like, yo, you've been doing this for like a year, you know that? And I was like, it's been a year since I started this. And he's like, yeah. And looking back at all the stuff that I did, and honestly, I think it did pretty good. And we're still adding new stuff. We're still concepting new things for this mod.
Right, yeah. Which from like this, like the small amount of concepts I've personally been able to see, mainly just from looking in the host server, the concepts themselves look really good.
Yeah, we've been getting some really great people to help out with this project.
Nice.
Which has been really fun. Overall, I think it's probably gonna be this is gonna be the biggest mod that I've made.
Right, yeah. Speaking of, and this is probably something we already answered, but I'm still going to ask it anyway. How is Hating Simulators Alpha Build development wise?
It's going really, really smoothly. We are very close to finishing one portion of the mod. I can't exactly tell you what the other portion is, because for the people who are watching, they haven't seen it, but I have posted some stuff online about like some little things here and there that we're adding to the second portion of the mod. But the first portion has a game banana page, and I've been actively updating it throughout like our development. I think right now it's at like 80%. But we have had like very steady development. There's 3 spriters on the team. Me, IGGH, the guy that I mentioned earlier, and No. And No is a really good week 6 spriter. He has been helping so much on the mod team. I don't think I would be able to have half as much content as we have on the mod currently if it wasn't for him. Because he's had a hard carry for this. mod for the longest time, and we're both having fun on it. Almost like every other day, we will call and just work on the mod. We'll look at the list and be like, all right, we got to finish this for this part. And we frequently have a lot of like dev calls with other developers in the mod team.
Right.
It's been really great being able to make sprites for this, being able to work stuff out with other people on the dev team about like what they would want and what they would want to see. And it's been really fun making this, but it's gonna be a very long road to
I'd imagine.
to to tread on, because this is such a huge project even for me.
Right. Yeah.
And this is one of my like first like big roles in actually directing a mod, being able to manage who is doing what, when are like they gonna get it done. And it's a learning experience because you get to like see just like what it's like working with other people, seeing like obviously we're not professional, and hopefully nobody in this modding community is like professional with
Yeah.
directing a mod, because we're all still learning. You know, we're all hopefully doing this for fun. Like
Yeah.
I'm doing this for fun. This is like a side project for me, and this has been such a crazy experience being able to like just work with so many people. Obviously, something that they hopefully care about. And overall, this project has been like my most fun to work on.
That's good to hear. Even with like the little I've personally seen, I'm genuinely excited for like where it goes and all.
Yeah, no, we've been working very hard on this.
Right. Yeah. And my final question is, what is your personal like favorite part of the alpha build so far?
Favorite part has to be, I'd say, I don't know if this is going up after the trailer releases, but I would say like the overworld, because
Oh.
we've been able to it's gone through so much like development, like changes. Like initially the plan, and this might change after this goes live, but initially the plan was to make it like isometric, like three pre-rendered 3D backgrounds is what we had. So we were going to make all of the backgrounds in Blender. We were going to texture them all in Blender, and we were going to export them as images, and we would have the coder put them in game through that. And while that was the plan for the longest time, a lot of the assets that were mainly like environmental were going to be pre-rendered 3D backgrounds, because this is supposed to be like in the era of the PlayStation 1. So we're trying to go off of like Final Fantasy 7 with the pre-rendered animations, pre-rendered backgrounds, stuff like that.
Right.
And
Yeah.
we had that for the longest time, but over time I was like, making these backgrounds and making like sprites and having to export them on all of this is a little bit too much, because we cut down on a little bit of stuff in the mod, stuff that's not like major, but stuff that like isn't too needed. Like there was going to be interiors to the school that you could explore. Instead, it's just gonna be you walk up to the front door of the school, and then like it cuts to like a little black screen, and then it goes to the roof. That is what we have planned currently, because making the whole interiors would mean that we have to make sprites, we have to make the backgrounds, all of that different stuff. And 3D modeling isn't difficult, but it was just very demanding. And the way that I initially made the backgrounds was so choppy that I would basically have to redo because of just the way that I made it. So we were just like, you know what? Our next plan for the backgrounds is we still continue to make them in Blender and export them, but we skip the whole texturing, the whole all of those different things. So just change the texturing, all of that stuff, and instead make the backgrounds in game as pixel sprites. So that way, people on the dev team can be able to make them more efficiently, because literally just have to trace a image and then just color properly.
Right. Yeah.
And then that's all that we have to do for the backgrounds, because then they can be edited to fit like different times of the day. So like the game like takes place at like noon, like the same sprites that were used in like the noon area of like the school could be used for like the daytime. And we kind of like hashed this out early on so that we don't have to change it. And after seeing some of like the stuff that we made for these backgrounds, we're like, okay, this is gonna work. But the overworld has been so much fun to work on, mainly because initially I was like, oh man, like, you know, we've had so many like stumps. We were like, you know what, this isn't gonna work, let's just scrap it. But I was like, you know what, no, screw that, we're gonna continue working on it, and it's clearly paid off.
Yeah.
And I think that's one of the like big things I was just like, oh my god, like this is crazy, because you know we continued pushing to work on this, and it was and it actually paid off.
That's good to hear.
So yeah, I'd say this was one of the more funner things to work on.
That's about all of the questions I have. Is there anything you'd like to say before we go off?
Last thing I'd say is just keep having fun modding. Just keep doing what you like. Do things you enjoy.